What's going on, guys? Money Man Jeff here. In today's video, I'm gonna be sharing with you guys how to properly inspect the phone before buying it. We don't want to give someone money and then later find out that the phone has defects or is not fully functional and then be pissed off that we bought a bad phone. So these are the steps that we need to take before handing someone over the cash. And the first thing is to look at the phone cosmetically. Check it out. Look at the back. Is it cracked? Is it in good condition? Is there scratches? Is there long nicks? Is there cracks? Is there deep marks? Look at the frame. Is there nicks? Is there dings? Is there dents? Especially ceramic frame phones. A lot of the ceramic frame phones are 14s, the regular base models, 13s, 12s, 11s, XRs. Those don't have stainless steel, so these are prone to more scratches, and we can use it to our advantage if you're a phone flipper and deduct off the body frame. And the buyers will still buy it because it's still grade B. The screen isn't cracked. So those are things that we want to look out for. Also the screen, make sure the screen is intact. So cosmetically is the first thing we look at. Well, that's the first step I take. Check it out. Everything good. Are the side buttons working? Or is let's see it. Is volume down working? Or is volume up working? Is the lock button working? When I do this, does this come up? Does this button work? Make sure the buttons don't get stuck. So things like that's what we look out for. The next thing I would look out for is the camera, right? Make sure the camera's working. Make sure you could flip it, right? Make sure all of that works. Even go to video and record yourself talk. Make sure the speakers are working. You could buy a portable charger, like a little charging block from Best Buy, and connect it here to make sure the battery port is working. Or you could do it like me, where the customer comes up to my car and I just hook up my lightning cable to the phone and beam, it's charging, right? So those are things we look for in the beginning. The cameras, the buttons, cosmetically, is it good? The cameras, front, back, everything, speakers, charging port. And then we would go to settings every time. You're gonna go to settings, and on settings, we're gonna go to sounds. Make sure it works. Volume works, okay, perfect. Speakers are working. We're gonna go to display and brightness. And when you're in display and brightness, it should always say True Tone. True Tone means that the screen is factory from Apple, and it has that rubber band around here, that seal that makes it resistant to water, and gives you good battery life and gives you a clear image. Whereas the aftermarket won't say True Tone; it'll just be blank there. There will be nothing here. This will not exist right here where it says True Tone. None of this will exist. And if it doesn't have it, then we know it's an aftermarket that has been replaced. And we could use it as leverage against the customer and tell them, listen, I can't buy that phone because, there's no True Tone. It's not that the screen image isn't going to change based on your environment. So it's going to be weird, And also, it loses its water resistant capability. Once you replace the screen, drop this in the sink, I dare you, or the toilet. It's over with because it's aftermarket. So aftermarket, no rubber seal. The battery dies quicker. Those are all important points to push to the customer, letting them know why you can't give them what you originally had offered them when buying a phone. Now, when you resell it locally, and the person you're reselling to won't know, but hey, it's your win. So this is what we're gonna be looking at. True Tone, make sure it's there. If it's not, deduct on it, charge grade C. And then we're gonna look at Face ID. We're gonna hit the Face ID, set up Face ID, right? And we're gonna make sure that, the borders, they light up green and it's checking out, We wanna make sure that it's actually reading our face, not it just be blank. This has to show up. So now we're at Face ID. We checked Face ID, we make sure the Face ID works. Then battery, we're gonna go to the settings, right? And we're gonna click battery. So once we click battery, we're gonna click on battery health, and it says maximum capacity 100. So it means this phone that I have right here has perfect battery. If it dips under 87, the battery starts to die quicker. I even tell people, listen, Apple will change your battery for free. I know they used to do it. I don't know how true it is, but whatever. I keep saying it because most people aren't going to get on their phone and look it up on Google anyways. But anyways, this is what I say to people. And it's because it's partially true. The battery does die quicker. It's worth less. That's what I use as leverage. I'll sometimes knock $20 off the original price. So if I offer someone $280 for a phone and everything is good, and then I'm hoping the battery's kind of low, At below 87, then I'll do, 280 or whatever, 260 if I take away $20, right? And that's what I do. I'm helping myself, have leverage and, gain a little bit more capital in the process of inspecting these phones. So there it goes. It's inspecting the body cosmetically, the cameras, the speakers, the battery health, the charging port, the sounds right here to make sure the speakers work, display and brightness to make sure there's true tone. Make sure you're buying an actual good phone because the buyers will pay you grade C price. Grade B means a phone has, a little bit of scratches, minor wear and tear, but it's not cracked. And if you're thinking just because the phone looks good and you don't look at this true tone, and you're thinking the buyer's gonna give you grade B, when you go to get cashed out on this phone, it's going to be marked as grade C because it is not a factory screen. So you have to check out the display and brightness options. Sorry, I'm everywhere. Display and brightness option to see if it has true tone or not. Then we're gonna scroll down to Face ID, check the Face ID, the battery, and that's essentially it. That's all you wanna look out for. Also, what you wanna do to make sure there's no LCD damage, because it happened to me one time where everything looked good on the phone, right? But there was one specific spot on the screen that wasn't responding and I hadn't caught it because obviously I probably just skimmed the bottom like real quick when inspecting it. But another good way is to do this across the screen. Go across, horizontal, 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 and check for spots that may be damaged, bad LCD. So those are things you're gonna wanna look out for. Also, one more thing, how do we know if a phone is a clone phone, a fake phone from China? Meaning the shell looks like an Apple, everything looks like it's a certified Apple phone, but when you click the Apple Store, all of a sudden instead of, the Apple Store coming up right here, you see where the apps are. This is the Apple App Store. I said Apple Store. If this doesn't pop up, then it's fake. What's gonna pop up is the Android Store, the Google Play Store, because you cannot clone iOS Marketplace or whatever. Their App Store. There's no way to clone it. So these iPhones that are clones will look just like this, but it's gonna be a Google Play Store, not the actual App Store from Apple. Also, another way to detect if a phone's a clone, we're gonna go to General, About, and we're gonna scroll down. If the IMEI is on the phone, if the IMEI here on the phone is bunched up together, then it's a clone phone. It has to be spaced out. Like mine are spaced out. They're spaced out. So usually an IMEI number will be 15 digits long. So the first two will be 35 space 5 6 7 2 3 5 space. You'll see the space in the screen. So if it's no space, it's all clumped up, all 15-digit numbers from the IMEI. An IMEI always starts with a 35. If they're all clumped up, then it's a clone phone. And you're gonna be able to tell the clone phone is a clone phone because the borders are a lot thicker, so it'll extend. This black part right here of the screen will come up here, or down here will be thicker. It'll be thicker right here. And you could just tell, it'll just look funny. It won't feel right. The weight will be off. You could just tell, believe me. But those are the most important steps to look out for when buying a phone, checking it out physically, if the phone is good physically. Obviously, you're gonna wanna do an extensive search on it, which would be using sigw.com to read the IMEI. That's a very good, accurate IMEI checker to inspect the phone to see if the phone's reported lost, stolen, blacklisted. We're still gonna wanna do that. So my first step when buying a phone is always inspecting it, just like I showed you guys. It takes a couple minutes to do, and then running the IMEI through sigw and seeing if it's actually unlocked, if it's actually locked to a carrier, and things of that nature. Oh, I forgot to do one thing. Bringing sigw up, saying, trying to determine if a phone is unlocked or locked or financed or blacklisted or whatever. If you don't have sigw, you actually want to see if the phone is actually in fact unlocked. I forgot to show this to you guys. I'm so sorry. We're gonna go to settings, right? This is how we know we're gonna buy a phone if it's actually unlocked. We're gonna go to General, and then we're gonna go to About, and we're gonna scroll down to where it says carrier lock, right? If it says no SIM restrictions, that means the phone is unlocked for any carrier to use. T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, etc., etc. If it says if it says SIM restrictions or SIM locked, it doesn't say SIM locked, then you know the phone is financed and locked to a carrier. So if you're going to buy a phone and the customer tells you, hey, look, the phone is unlocked, I paid it off, I don't know anything on it, but when you get there, you don't believe them, the best way to protect yourself, it's not about believing them, it's about protecting yourself. You can't go off anyone's word, I'm sorry. But you want to be able to go to the settings, go to about, scroll down to where it says carrier lock. So I'm going to just go through it again real quick. I'm sorry if it's sloppy, but this is what it is right here. So we're going to go to, we're going to go to settings. When we're in settings, we're going to go to general, we're going to go to about, and we're going to scroll all the way down. And if carrier lock, if it says SIM no restrictions, that means that the phone is in fact unlocked and works for any carrier. So that's how we go about inspecting these phones before buying them. I hope this video is useful, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.